What is going on, people? Welcome to the Arsenal Agenda show. Now, I've been waiting for this one the whole week, but after the game yesterday, I knew that this was going to be a banger. So I'm not going to go too much into introductions. The only person I'm going to introduce this week is our guest, Luke. Just Luke, tell them quickly a little bit about yourself and where you stand on the question of Mikel Arteta.
I'm starting to lose my faith in him a lot.
Oh no!
All right, so the stream started the way we probably wanted it. Luke's gone a bit robot. I know he's back. He's back now.
He's back.
I've started to lose faith in him because I feel like his lack.
Let's give him a moment to sort out his connection anyway. You know what it is, people. Anyway, it's me, Sulz, and Charlie. Obviously, me and him making up N5ive. There's going to be 3 agendas on the show. Luke's back, so let's try and get that out of the way. Luke, tell everybody about a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me good? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you fine now, mate.
I just said I'm worried about his lack of experience as a manager, and that I feel like it's going to take us just further downwards. But listen, I have to give him time, but not too much time. Hope end of the season, maybe. It depends what happens in Europa.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about all of that. And Niall from Let's Talk Premier League just commented and said Arteta is a bit shit, isn't he? Well, now you know who thinks that and who don't. There's one person here who we're going to be debating against, but that's what this show's about. We're going to be debating 3 big agendas. The first one being, if we go out against Slavia next week, should Mikel Arteta no longer be at Arsenal Football Club? Now, I'm going to try not give my opinion straight away on this. I'm going to go straight to you, Charlie, because I know after yesterday's game, you was absolutely fuming. So I'm going to give you the floor for a bit. And Niall, just pick up that comment there quickly. Mate, I tried to not make it a 3-3-1. That's why I'm not giving my opinion too much. I'm just going to try and host a discussion.
I don't even care if it's 3-1, bro. Yesterday's game, yeah. Oh, wow. Fucking God. All right, let me ask you a question, Aaron. Yeah, if Arteta loses next week, there's no excuse not for him to be sacked. I'm sorry,
I'll just be quick in that one.
In the league, out of the Europa.
I'll just be quick. If we go out, then it's hard to defend him. Obviously, the players have their responsibilities, but just from a standpoint of where we are, where the club is, and the players responding to him as a manager, then there seems to be a complete disconnect in that sense if we're going out of the Europa League at this stage. But anyway, Charlie, carry on.
Yeah, for me, it's totally unacceptable if we don't go through in the quarterfinal to Slavia Prague. I'm sorry. I know I've said in my previews that they're a decent team. They're a little bit of a dark horse, but pure quality-wise, Arsenal should be beating Slavia in the quarterfinal of Europa League. I'm sorry. I think DT said yesterday on his fan cam, and it's true, we're on the favoured side of the bracket. You'd want to be in this side of the bracket if you had the choice. Are we gonna throw it away and lose to fucking Slavia? Like, I'm sorry, for me, if we lose to that team next week, Arteta has to walk. He has to be sacked on the spot and blow it up and then start again. And yeah, for me, I can't hear any other opinion. It's got too bad. I have no faith in Arteta.
You know what? I think what's funny is there's a lot of people who are along the same lines of, if we do go out, they're going to start changing their minds. But obviously, there's one person in here who seems to be backing him all the way. But I don't want to misconstrue your argument anyway, Souls. What did you think of yesterday's performance? And if we are to go out next week, are you going to be one of those who turn around and look at Arteta and think maybe you're not the one who's supposed to be leading us forward?
You know what? I've kind of said it all along, and this is it's not. I'm not Arteta in. It's just he happens to be our manager.
Okay.
But my point has always been that until whoever it is, bring anyone in. I'm not bothered who the manager is. Until there's not proper backing, I just don't see us improving as a team. Yeah, we might be not 10th, let's say, right? We might be 8th, 7th, 6th at a push. But I just don't see that being that's why I've never said I'm Arteta. Yeah, I get the point. Yes, he's made mistakes. I've admitted that, and I've said Martinelli. I don't agree with it. But maybe there is some unknown reason to why that's happening. I don't know what it is. I've said this multiple. I've made excuses, and I've held my hands up and said, look, I don't know what it is anymore. Like I don't get it. He should have played Pepe, in my opinion. yesterday instead of Willian. We knew that's what we needed, a bit of tenacity. We needed someone with a bit of a flair about him. So yes, he is making mistakes. And I'm not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, but we expected that, so it's fine. We let him off with that. Where he's gone wrong, I have said, and I put my hands up and said, look, this is where he's going wrong. But where I can't blame him is the chances that were created should have been taken. Now, I don't know how that's going to change with the manager because, yes, coaching maybe, I don't know. But yesterday, I can't blame it on the manager because the chances were good enough to bury that game like they've been all season against Wolves as well. We should have firstly been 3 or 4 up before the red card came in.
Can I just say so though? Yeah, that obviously the players bear responsibility. No professional footballer in that, especially one of Lacazette's quality in the Premier League, should be putting that against the bar. But if the players aren't responding to them, forget about the Arteta and our players. Just think of it generally. If the players aren't responding to the manager, surely it's better to get a manager who's probably on the wavelength of the majority of the squad, who can really galvanize the team rather than trying to replace a whole squad, which if we go back to Arsenal, they're not going to do that because it's not 1 or 2 players. There's a lot of players in this team right now who probably shouldn't be here or should be in a squad player. They shouldn't be starting. But even so, I'm pretty sure this team with a better manager is capable of challenging for top 6. I wouldn't go as far as top 4 maybe, but who could probably get in the top 6, who wouldn't be 10th, who wouldn't be going out at this stage in the competition. Emery, with a worse squad, and you have to give it to him, with a worse squad, went to the final of this competition and finished 5th. So it's like, when you're looking at the squad then and now, or the disconnect between Arteta and the players, how can you even suggest that, like, removing Arteta isn't an option or another manager could be a better option?
No, I've never said that. Like, and this is the thing, right? It's for me. The way my viewpoint is anyway is that we're gonna go through a constant cycle of changing managers because these players simply do not have the mentality or the consistency to go a full season good enough. This is the thing, right? So if we look at our form, we win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, draw 1, this, that. It's been all over the whole form has been all over the place, right? Like we don't know what the hell we're gonna get, and that's been every single week. I can't even sit here and tell you we're guaranteed going through. I can't say that. I can't even say we're going to beat Sheffield on the weekend, regardless of whether we go and play a strong 11. Because my issue is, right, you can get the Aubameyang of last season in one game, like Leeds, for example, where he scored a hat-trick. Every chance he got basically became a goal. And then you can get Aubameyang of this season where you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not working hard. You're not putting in a shift. And then you can get Lacazette, who finishes like a 30-yard screamer and then misses what he did yesterday. And then you've got Saka, who can come from, scoring beautiful goals like he did. I know Chelsea was a bit lucky and the goals he scored were good.
But we've seen him score some great goals in the past.
And then yesterday's chance, that's the problem. It's such an... And then look at Partey as well. Like, I'm going to be trying to be as fair as I can because that's the way...
Of course, yeah.
And it's like someone has to be shit. It's like someone has to... It's like we passed the baton or we put a raffle in the dressing room. All right, who's going to be the shit player today? And that was, unfortunately, right, when Ceballos and Partey are going to be crap, you can't win a game because the games in the modern day football are going to be won in midfield.
Yeah, but I'm just going to be honest, Sulz, like, I want to go to Luke as well, but like, as much as I thought that we could have underestimated that Slavia team yesterday, I didn't think they were particularly good. I didn't even feel like they were particularly hungry to come after the game. It didn't seem like it. I didn't expect them to play the way they did. I didn't expect them to come out and smash us. But I mean, I thought there would be a little bit more there. But I thought at times they were quite poor. Apart from the few opportunities they had, and obviously they scored at the end. But let me just take this to Luke quickly. Luke, where do you think the line should be drawn between the manager's responsibility and then the player's responsibility? Because yesterday was kind of a perfect example to set up this debate.
Last night was probably where the blame is 50-50 because I feel like Arteta, made mistakes with the lineup. I feel against that high line that Slavia play, Aubameyang probably should be starting. Pepe should be starting. But I mean, again, I can't blame him for Lacazette missing 2 chances, Aubameyang missing a sitter, you know, Saka missing a good chance. But at the same time, he's also the one who picks these players. I know Saka is excusable. He's been our best player this season. And Lacazette even, he's our top scorer. But you look at some of the chances that Lacazette misses for us. He could be on about 20 league goals alone, let alone in other competitions. So I feel like last night, you know, the thing is, well, I know we're going to get onto it later, but I feel like Pepe as a sub, although it was left late, it was maybe the right choice because he brings a certain energy to the game. Like Martinelli, I feel like Martinelli should have started that game because, you know, it's getting to a point where he is like stunting his development as a player because he just refuses to start him. But I feel like, yeah, last night was a 50-50 split between players and manager because the players weren't. We dominated that game in the sense that we created a lot of good chances that we should have been 3 or 4-0 up. But still, you know, at the end, the lack of discipline when we're 1-0 up, holding a lead in the 93rd minute, and you give away silly corners and set pieces, you can't pin that on the manager. But, you know, I still feel he made a mistake when picking that lineup.
I don't know. I'd have to agree. I mean, you made some really good points there, and there's actually a really good question as well in the comments. If you want to bring that up from Aaron, big up to Aaron. Thank you for watching, mate. By the way, it's been a long time. I'll make sure to DM you soon and have a little catch up. He said, "Has anyone got any suggestions of who we would get in if Arteta is sacked?" I low-key can't think of anyone who would come here. I mean, that's a good question because as much as we're offering up, you know, our opinions on the issues at the Arsenal, I mean, it's not our job to necessarily come up with solutions, but it's probably good for a talk show to actually have something to propose. So, you know what, Charlie, I know that you've said in the past there's a mountain of managers that you would take at Arsenal, but let's say if we put it in a realistic world right now, who do you think we could get in if Arteta would be sacked, and do you think they could do a better job?
You know what? There's a few I think that would actually come in and galvanize the players and actually get better performances out. I think Benitez for me is my top one. I think 100% he'll have our defense a lot more solid, and I guarantee you wouldn't be 11th under Benitez or 10th under Benitez in my opinion. But there's a couple like with Arsenal. I don't know if Ancelotti's realistic, if I'm honest, but I would have taken him before we even signed Arteta, 100%. I don't know how you see Arteta and Ancelotti and go for Arteta. As Arsenal Football Club, I just don't understand that. But yeah, I don't know if I'm missing.
I mean,
people,
isn't Allegri still available?
Allegri, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, he's a free agent right now.
Yeah,
surely he would.
There are people saying like Luis Enrique as well, but I don't know if I'd take him because I don't feel like. Well, I probably would over Arteta right now.
I can't lie.
When there's managers like Allegri available, you got to go after them, surely.
Exactly.
Sulz, obviously,
what
you're
I want
somebody.
to say about, what I want to say about Allegri. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go and ask the question.
I was going to ask a direct question to you because obviously you've said a few times that you watch La Liga, so obviously you might have seen Luis Enrique's Barcelona. So we know he stepped away from
Barcelona.
Yeah, we know he stepped away, but that was for personal reasons rather than anything managerial. Like, what do you think of him possibly coming into the team?
I wanted to just quickly touch on the Allegri one. I don't think this fan base will take Allegri. They'll take him because of his name, but his style of football, they're going to get bored of. That's what I want to say. And so I'm not saying all of us, by the way. I'm saying there will be a good fraction of this fan base who are going to be, it's too negative. We're not attacking teams. And that's what Allegri does. He doesn't attack. He's a very sort of defensive structured first, and then attack second kind of manager. But on the Luis Enrique thing, he wouldn't be the right fit right now. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't think he'll sort our defense out. His defense was only good because he had players in front of him who could do a lot.
Wait. So do you think Allegri, a defensive-minded coach, couldn't do as good or a better job than Arteta defensively?
No. That's not what I said. No,
but I'm saying it's a redundant point when you think of it through that scope.
No. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying to tell me I've got a list of managers like Allegri, Benitez, or like Enrique. I'm just trying to say what their pros and cons will be. Will be really good attacking football, like really good under Enrique, like probably some of the best football you'll see attackingly, especially with the players we have to offer, like Martinelli, Pepe, Saka, ESR, Odegaard. If that comes to fruition or not, he'll definitely do that. But my only question with him has always been defensively. He's not really been great because he's had MSN, he's had Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, he had Dani Alves, obviously, in the time, Eric Abidal, he had PK was decent. That'd be my only question, whether he could do anything defensively. And that's the thing. It's going to be like a Wenger-style football in a sense of very good attacking, but defensively, you're going to always question it. Whereas with Allegri, it's the opposite. You're not going to question defensively, but you're going to start questioning his attacking sense. And I'm not saying he will be bad, but these are just the balanced arguments I'm trying to bring. Would I take them 110%? I would, because firstly, they're more experienced. They probably have better connections with players, and if you look at obviously him being at Barcelona, Juventus, and even if you look at their youth academy, players that are coming up in there, and if you look at players he probably worked with that we could do with, it's going to be better. Luis Enrique is a Spanish manager. There's so many Spanish talents out there that we could do with, that could come in and be way better than what we have.
So let me just get it straight though, for your views. So let's say if Enrique was fully available, and let's say Arsenal could go out and get him, would you obviously back the move to get somebody like him to replace Arteta right now?
I would, but the problem is they're going to be the same for me. Not in a sense of we'll be this bad. We will be better. We'll be like 6, but until he's not backed as well in terms of getting those defensive, like a Basuma or an Anguissa or a Sabitzer, someone who can be solid in that midfield and help that defense out, we're probably going to see similar situations with Enrique like we did under Wenger. Forget about Arteta for a second, because obviously we know the issues under Arteta are what they are. And that's what's going to happen. Until that doesn't get solved, until he can't invest in that defensive area, we're probably going to be relapsing the same sorts of things where the defense is shit, it's out of place, it's not structured, because that's not the way he works. He works more attackingly.
Okay.
Right. If the right manager right now is probably a Rafa Benitez, who's a well-rounded manager, or maybe Allegri will get us to get a solid foundation that we can then go and bring an Enrique to follow up with. Because I feel like he'll get all the defensive structure and organization into the team, and then Enrique can take it over and complete the move forward. That's what I would do.
There was one name we didn't mention, or I might have mentioned it just as a start when I was talking, and it's Ten Hag as well. But Aaron actually said Nagelsmann. Obviously, he's with RB Leipzig, but I thought that if we put an offer on the table, that's somebody who would probably want to come over to the Premier League. I mean, somebody's not going to want to stay as the second or third best German team their whole career. Not that we're any better, by the way, but obviously Arsenal's stature, what we can offer, the project is probably a bit more exciting. Even though I do think RB Leipzig, they're building something over there that's exciting too. I mean, look at the players they're bringing through and the football they're playing. But I wanted to pose.
I wanted to address that comment quickly.
I actually wanted to pose a question to you, to be fair. But
go on, some of the questions.
I just wanted to say, talking about because I know you've spoken about this myth about the good football Arteta plays, the structure. Right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you that, what do you think about this notion that we're playing good football, we have a good structure? I mean, because I can't see it at all. I see it sometimes, but it's not consistent at all.
Aaron, I don't think I've seen it this whole season. Like, what is this myth about Arteta's great system? Like, what kind of football do we play? Our build-up play poor. Attackingly, we're absolutely terrible. Defensively, we're terrible. No fluidity. That the play is not good. It hasn't been good all season. I wanted to directly address that comment Aaron made quickly, Aaron. Yeah, I think Sulz, you flicked on the screen. How would Allegri not make a massive difference to this team? Would we be sitting 10th or on the verge of going out of the Europa League in the quarterfinal to Slavia Prague under Allegri or under Benitez? Like, it's a results business. At the end of the day, Arteta is losing too many games. He's struggling.
He's lost so many.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a results business. I know the players they should be scoring chances. Yesterday, Sulz, I agree with you. Lacazette, I think it was Luke that said this. Lacazette has to score twice, at least. And the individual chances we had, we should be winning that game.
And you know what?
There's easily lost that game.
You know what? I have to echo what Charlie's saying, because there's also people who are saying, well, if we had that many chances, how could we have played bad? I mean, we had those. You're always going to get chances in football. You can play terrible. That's why they're consistently
Look at
the
Bayern the
worst.
other day.
Yeah,
They have
the
30
worst.
shots.
Exactly,
Lost.
the worst. Sorry, yeah, exactly. It's a good example, and also that's why, like, even sometimes worse teams win games because in football, mostly, unless you get completely dominated, you're gonna have chances and score. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like just because we had those chances, we played well. The eye test tells me we didn't play well. I don't need to look at chances. I just need to look at how we were playing, the fluidity,
We were terrible.
how Xhaka and Partey between them couldn't string along 10 successful passes consistently. And if I'm honest, I'd have if we were sat here speaking about how we're losing, but we're progressively getting better as a football team, you would hear a lot more sympathies from me, and Charlie can probably vouch for that because you see me, if I'm seeing progress in some way, I'm going to say, you know what, but he's doing this because I like to watch good football. But I'm not even seeing that. And I'm not even just talking to Souls, obviously. I'm talking to just generally, like, for the people who are actually talking about the football. I just, when I watch the game, I'm not seeing anything exciting. I'm not seeing anything that I'm looking at, I'm saying, wow. There's a few, like Willie and Cedric, and I forgot who else. They played a decent triangle for about 20 seconds that I enjoyed watching. But I remember, and I know Charlie's probably going to say it's a myth, but it was in Wenger's later years. But even when we were losing some games under Wenger, I'm not talking about the latter years, but we were still playing some exciting football. We still had them games where we looked like a top club in terms of the football we were playing. And I think we're consistently losing that identity, and I'm not sure that we're going to be able to bring that back as a club. I don't know if you lot have any thoughts on that, but I feel like them days might be over and we're just trying to cling on to them a little bit.
I feel like that people have said we've improved with a 10, but I just feel like we haven't played any better football. We were just so shit before Erdegaard came in because we didn't have a number 10, so we couldn't create chances. The only thing that's changed is the fact that now we have two number 10s in Smith Rowe and Erdegaard. We're getting more chances than we had, which makes it seem like we're playing better football. It's just that before we literally created barely anything. The only time we'd ever create something was if Saka was involved. But now, you know, we have two creative players in. We create like a few more chances, but like we're creating the chances, but we're not finishing them, which, you know, would have probably happened earlier in the season. So nothing's really changed in that sense. It's just, you know, now we've got a creative player. It makes it look like we play better football, but we just don't.
I think that's an important point about the perceptions of what, like the 10 and how just because we've got the 10 in, it's obviously improved a little bit, but it's not substantial improvement. It's not something that's sustainable, and it's not like actual trajectory. It's like we weren't playing a 10, we are playing a 10, but then what from here? Where do we go from here? And it doesn't seem like we're building on that. I mean, Odegaard's putting some good performances. I actually really like him as a player. He's a bit of a baller, to be fair. But what are we building on from that? I don't know if you or Charlie want to talk about that quickly before we move on. You can just hop in and just have your say on the matter.
Well, I mean, I had something to say about Nagelsmann because I feel like if we put in an offer, I feel like there's no reason. I know we're shit, but for me, like the stuff I've been seeing happening at Leipzig in the past few years, you know, they were building something, but at the same time, it looks like they're also kind of doing what Dortmund did, which was building something. Yeah. But you know, now they're selling their most important players. You know, they got rid of Werner, they got rid of Upamecano. He's off to Bayern, who are in the same league as them as well. Makes it worse. Kanate is probably leaving. I think Nkunku, who's young, he wants to leave. You know, there's quite a few players that they're selling, which makes it feel like to me that they could just be becoming another Dortmund in that sense, which means, you know, and Nagelsmann would probably much prefer to come to a club, you know, that can offer him like, look, there's a project here. You know, that the board at there, you know, we're hearing all this talk about coming in the summer that they're going to give Arteta money. You know, we want to get these players like a new right back and stuff. So I don't see why Nagelsmann wouldn't see these promises. You know, we can offer him a lot. We're a big club, so I don't see why there's like any reason why he wouldn't want to come to us.
Yeah, no.
In terms of the
just say quickly.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, quickly. I know it's kind of irrelevant now, but a lot of people were saying when we were linked with Tuchel, they wouldn't take him at all. They wouldn't have him.
Crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but look at the difference he's already made at Chelsea coming in from Lampard. So you know what I'm saying, like, it's just crazy. If you wouldn't take Tuchel, you'd rather keep Arteta. Like, it's just I don't know, like it's just crazy to me. But
It's really weird. I don't want to touch on this too much because we have so much to get onto, but it's really weird. And I'm not saying like obviously I know this is a debate show, but Souls, obviously I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying like just generally because when I looked at like Emery and the people who backed Emery, I feel like they were a lot quicker to come to terms with he should go and we should move on than Arteta, even though he was performing better. I don't understand where this has come. I don't know if it's because he was a former player. I don't know if it's because people just want to try and be right.
It's the
I feel
PR,
like
bro.
it's because Arteta's not an experienced manager, though. They're like, Arteta's, he's young, give him time, whereas Emery's an experienced manager.
What I don't understand about the time debate is time doesn't necessarily mean you're going to build into a great manager capable of managing Arsenal. I mean, I can do something for a long time. Anyone can. It doesn't mean that you're going to be the top of your field in it. It doesn't mean that you're going to become the manager we need.
Do you know what it is? I think I can answer this probably the best because that's who I am. I'm willing
your position,
time. It's probably because I don't think we're not a club who's going to give like a £200 million. It's not about how much money you spend. By the way, it's about we don't fully back the manager, so that whoever comes in needs a bit of time, and that's the problem. If we're not willing to give time, this is what's gonna. You know what United, why it took them so long is because they were number one, they were either getting the wrong manager in, which is probably what we're probably doing in terms of Emery and then Arteta. I think the good thing about Emery coming in, we needed to get that first manager out and done with. And I know that sounds so disrespectful. Do you think it's like a
process of finding what you need?
Yeah, and I know the Emery one's going to sound so disrespectful how I just said it, but I think that's just what the club was thinking. Okay, let's just get someone in, not throw them under the bus, but just so that first, transition is done. Because I think that was going to always be the worst person. Like with Ferguson. Like Ferguson obviously said, go get Moyes. He's my chosen
manager. And Moyes is a very good manager.
Yeah.
The
but
same
I think
with
they
Emery.
just needed to get that out in the way. And I think once that's done, whoever comes in is in a less like cooker pressured situation. And the toxicity kind of dies down a bit and people come into a sense of realization. And now obviously that's the appointment of Arteta. I don't agree with the appointment, by the way. I've never ever said I agree with it or he's the right man. I do think he can do something, but whoever comes in, the fan base need to give time, and that's my problem because we don't. All right, I'm gonna try and word this the best. We do spend money, but we don't spend it in the right places at the right time.
Oh yeah, we're not. The board certainly don't help us become.
Yeah, because everyone is Zaha, Upamecano, Partey, and Zonzi. What did he get? David Luiz and Pepe. Basically, some people he didn't want, and then the only person who's kind of gotten what he wants, but he hasn't gotten everything he wanted in one time is Arteta. He wanted Partey or someone like Partey, got him. Wanted a Gabriel, Upamecano, got one of them at least. The only thing, he was screaming for a number 10, fair enough, which I'll give to him, but we didn't get him at all. We didn't even get him a free number 10, like even someone just a number 10 that can do the job. And that's the problem. If we're not going to give them what they want, we're going to be in a constant cycle of just going down and down and down because the systems are never going to work. And that's just why I think time is needed.
Well, I think that we've spoken enough about Arteta just for now. And we might touch on it a bit later in the show, but there's obviously two more things we need to speak about. One being, and I thought this was probably an interesting one because he scored yesterday. And there was so much talk midweek about, is he finished? Worst signing that we've had in terms of value for money. That's certainly a good debate. But talking about Pepe, why he's not playing Pepe, and we can extend this even more to Martinelli because that's even bigger discussion. But why isn't he playing these players consistently? It's shown yesterday when they come on, there was more vibrance. We looked more threatening in the attack. Pepe obviously ended up scoring. It was a really good finish, and maybe we could have won that game if them players had started. Obviously, we did have the opportunities, but at the end of the day, Pepe finished his opportunity, so he could have done that earlier in the game, or we could have had that effect. I wanted to go to Charlie as somebody who's obviously you've been a bit critical of Pepe, but to be fair to you, you've also been giving him praises when he deserves it. So you're not a hater in that sense. But what do you think of Pepe now when you're watching him play? When you watched him play yesterday, do you think he needs to be starting in this team? Do you think that Arteta is? Don't want to make it about Arteta, but obviously it relates. Do you think Arteta is maybe mismanaging the starting lineup when it comes to Martinelli and Pepe?
Yeah, the latter question, yeah, 100%. I think it's a complete mismanagement. But in terms of Pepe, I think last season and this season, my answer was different. Last season, I was a bit more critical of Pepe. I think I was quick to I thought he wasn't trying, and I think this season he's a bit more improved. I'm not saying he's the finished article at Arsenal. He's still way too inconsistent. And the thing with Pepe, you don't really know which one's going to turn up, because you can get that Liverpool Pepe, which is a joke.
Of
and
course,
then you can get that Pepe yesterday where he looks talented, he looks decent. But in terms of Pepe, I've said as well, if he's never started 5 games in a row for Arsenal, how is he supposed to pick up consistent form? How is he supposed to show the fans that he's worth 70 mil? I just don't understand. But yeah, like I said, this season, I think he is overall a bit more improved this season than last season. I wouldn't call him a flop. I don't think he's as bad as people make out in that sense. I know he was an expensive player, but I don't think he was a flop. I do think he's talented. And yeah, I just want to see him get consistent run of games. I think he deserves it. And I think he'll show form if he plays consistently.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point, to be honest, like weighing up both sides of it. And it's true. I know Sulz today on your show with Kevin Campbell, a great show. Everybody go watch that show. Go type in Let's Debate Footy with Kevin Campbell. You should go watch that after this. It was a good one. He even said today that the likes of Nketiah and Martinelli, they're not even developed, not played 5 games for Arsenal. I know it's a bit of a different context, but Pepe, if you want to take the 5-game kind of comparison, he ain't even starting 5 games. So it's a bit of a tough topic when talking about him. Is he good enough? Is he not? He's certainly put in some dreadful performances, but in terms of when he's been playing good, he deserves to be in that team all day. And I think right now, he should be in the team. He should be starting next week, in my opinion. Before I just get to you, Sulz and Luke, if there's a few comments we should read out, especially if we go to Gunner to Farhan's comment, which I thought was interesting. This is in reply to what you said. He said, "I'm sorry, but no club is going to appoint anyone just to get them out the door, just to allow that rocky period to happen." I don't want to talk on your behalf, Sulz, but when I listened to your point, I don't think it was necessarily you saying that they were doing it on purpose, but I thought it was regarding maybe that's just part of the process. That first manager might not be the perfect manager and usually isn't, but that process kind of evolves into you hiring other people based on your needs and wants from that first tenure, the first manager after obviously that long period of having Wenger.
I think the first manager was a throwaway, regardless of who they brought in.
Okay.
And hence why I think they didn't go for an Allegri, or they didn't go for because I think the pressure of that job, they must have looked at United and said, oh, fucking hell, they've got a tough act to follow. Because Wenger, regardless of how it ended, was a legend, is an icon, a father figure for many, and like someone that everyone looked up to. So whoever came in had big boots to fill. And I think what they wanted to do was just kind of alleviate that and kind of get the expectation. I wouldn't say lower the expectation, but kind of just get people to be like, look, we're going to rebuild. We're in a process of rebuilding this club. Just bear with us, basically. And I think it was good to do that, because imagine we bought an Allegri and that happened. We'd be like, oh my God, we're in a dire state. At least it's Emery, someone who's probably not a world-class manager, someone who can win, but just isn't the top echelons of managers. And then obviously now we bought Arteta and thinking, obviously, let's take a different approach. I think what they've done is they've over-expected from him. Like, they looked at the likes of Nagelsmann, they've looked at the likes of like the young and up-and-coming managers. Like, even with Pep came from an academy system to becoming a first team. And they must have looked at that and go, oh, should we try it with a younger manager who's someone that's fresh, maybe inexperienced?
In
maybe
terms of
that's
Arsenal,
what we need.
Arsenal's thinking that right now with Arteta. Or...
Yeah, maybe they're thinking like, let's go out of the box a bit, let's go a bit crazy. Maybe that's what we need. We don't look. There's so many possibilities with Arsenal, and maybe what they're gonna do is see if this works. For me, next season is, the summer is gonna define whether this club is serious or not. Regardless of managers, I've always said this.
That's a fair comment.
If the promise of 5-6 players isn't delivered, I can tell you on this show, I'm going to be Arteta out. I'm going to be bored out, because they just spewed a bullshit to us. A load of and the reason I know it's bullshit already. I know it is, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt to prove me wrong or prove me right.
And with Pepe, because we have to move on, just quickly, what do you think about Pepe and Martinelli? Do you think they should be starting? I know we've spoken about Martinelli in particularly before in this show, but what do you think of that situation?
It's tough. It's a tough one. Yesterday, I'm trying to be as balanced as I can without kind of criticizing the hell out of everyone. When Aubameyang, Pepe, and Martinelli were on the pitch, that team was so imbalanced. We looked so shaky for some reason defensively, not attacking. Attackingly, brilliant. Like we were playing them out of the park. But when they then attacked us, we seemed to be very fragile, and I don't know why that happened. I don't know why that's happened. I don't know whether there's a mentality reason to it, or maybe we went a bit too attacking. But for me, I think Arteta kind of got his fixtures reversed. This is the team you should have played in the second leg, and that's that team that you brought on for like the last 15 minutes with Martinelli, Pepe, and Aubameyang should have started this game, in my opinion, because what that does, it brings us onto the front foot first. We can get maybe 2 or 3, 4 goals because they had a high line, and I think what Arteta didn't expect was that. I don't think he expected them to hold a high line, and he probably planned for them being a defensive unit. Hence why he had the Lacazette and Willian just to try and break them down tactically. Obviously, Slavia have seen that, and this is why I'm saying this team should have played in the second leg, because guess what Slavia Prague are going to do? Sit back, because they don't need the goal. They don't want to risk going for a goal and conceding, because what Arsenal can do is create a chance to score a goal. And that's what I'm going to say. But on the Martinelli, I don't know why they're not starting more. That is 100%.
I think it's absolutely criminal that Martinelli isn't getting more minutes. And I hate using that word. I hate the hyperbole, but I can't understand why he's not even bench minutes. Like, I can't understand why there hasn't been an accumulative structure of him getting more and more minutes. I just can't understand it.
I don't expect him to start every game, but I expect him to be involved in every game. I expect, for example, if he doesn't play him on Sheffield, I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for, because the league is throwaway. The league is done. Start playing these players.
I think. Do you know? I think Willian will start on. But remember what I said. I think Willian will start against Sheffield United.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I think players like Pepe, Martinelli's. I think this is the point where you give Joe Lopez a go and let's see how he does in the first team, because we're lacking a left back. We're probably not going to have a left back for the season now. Obviously, depending on how his recovery goes. So maybe throw Joe Lopez in and see what he offers.
Sorry, I was just thinking about when you said that name. It's like what Lee Gunner says about people having their hipster choices, like when they talk about Miguel Aziz starting and stuff like that. But realistic.
No, he's not good enough. He's not good enough.
They're developing players.
But what my point is to why I'm saying that is because we've not got a left back. So why not? Like Saka, for example, he was just thrown in, and look at what he's done. We might have not thought he was ready, or he might have been ready. I don't know. Like ESR, for example, probably still has a bit of developing to do. Like we have thrown players in the past, and they've gone and done wonders. So maybe Joe Lopez is that player. I'm not saying he will, but what the fuck are we waiting for? I don't know. Just give these man time, and let's see what happens. It can't be any worse.
All right, that's a fair comment as well. Let me before we go to Luke. Bring up that comment from Farhan. Thanks for watching again, Farhan, by the way. I've been actually enjoying your content a lot recently, so everybody check him out. I think he looks at the game from quite an in-depth perspective, to contrary to we just give our opinions. So if you want that kind of content, you can go to him. He says, I don't think we're appreciating how much of a mess Emery left Arsenal when he left. You know what? It's an interesting debate. Probably something we'll talk about on another show, because people say that Wenger left the club in a massive mess, and obviously that with the board, and then people say Emery left a mess. Arteta might leave a mess as well. So those are good discussions to have. And sorry, what did you say?
Arteta's leaving it in a worse mess than Emery.
I think that's a great topic for a show. And you know what? I don't know if you want to expand on that point, Charlie, because I think it's a good point.
New show. You gotta stay tuned for the next show.
Cool. Say nothing.
All right,
I'm going to say is 10th in the league, isn't it? That's it.
That is a mess. I mean, that is a mess. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a good point. And talking Barca, I know you just said big up to my boy Sulz, and I need to say something to you quickly, because I've said to you last episode, there's 3 of us, and now there's 4 of us on here. So it's not just Sulz on here. And Sulz has been getting a bit gassed, bit too big for his boost recently. He thinks he's bigger than whoever. No, I know, but this is the kind of thing that's fueling it. But Harry had he said that.
Bellerin. We know.
We don't need. Gabriel Osaka left back. Cedric in moments is so uncomfortable because he's not competent dribbling with the ball down the left-hand side. Fair enough. That's why he turns his back.
You know what I want to say? Yeah, we're definitely Harry, mate. Stay tuned, because I'm getting you on one day, because Yo, this guy is so jokes, man. I think Charlie,
Yeah,
him and Charlie going at it is worse than me and Charlie going at. I'm telling you.
What? All right, yeah, we have to get more people like that on the show, man.
Yo,
and
he's
Luke,
such a Xhaka in, by the way. I just say that and I leave it
Xhaka
there.
in. All right, no, he's
Yeah.
never coming on. He can't come on a platform. Yeah, no, I'm joking. Maybe one day that would be quite funny, actually. We can do it. What we could do is a special show for Xhaka when he leaves to somebody like Hertha Berlin,
bro.
and then we can come on here and have our big debate. But ultimately, we'll be smiling because he will never have to wear an Arsenal shirt again. But going to Luke, what's your thoughts on the Pepe Martinelli debate? What do you think's happening there? Do you think Arteta's mismanaging both of them? And what are your reactions to both of them? That's just not even starting yesterday.
The Martinelli one really frustrates me because Arteta's already publicly said that it's his fault that he's handled poorly, and nothing's changed since he said that. Like, you can't come out and criticize yourself on how you've handled a player's development, and then keep the same. Like, you just leave it how it is. The kid is so talented. He is so talented. You know, you look at him last season, he was absolutely brilliant before he got his injury. And what? You think it's too soon now to play him? No, it's been ages since he's been back. Pretty sure he's been back since, December? And you're still leaving him on the bench, but you're allowing players like Aubameyang, who's been poor this season, Lacazette, who's missed chance after chance, Willian, who he had a little run earlier a few months ago, I think, but got injured. You know, I don't care. I need a consistent player on that side. And I mean, Pepe, I think it was Charlie that said it. You know, he hasn't had enough time to actually get he hasn't been allowed to get consistency because he never gets a consistent run of games. I feel like he always gets deployed on the right, which I know is his natural position, but I feel like he's had his best spell of games when he was playing down the left during that little win run we had against like Southampton, Wolves, Chelsea, teams like them. When we beat them, he was actually quite good on the left, because when he's on the right, I feel like his only option is to cut inside onto his left foot. However, I feel like when he's on the left, he can be a little bit more direct in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, Pepe's a good player. I'll never call him a flop because I feel like the way the deal was structured is it's not like we just splashed 72 million up front. You know, we paid it in installments. So it's not like we've just dropped 72 million straight away on a play. You know, we've done it as a way for us to spend money in other areas while getting in a player who's brilliant in France. And I feel like, you know, there have been moments where he showed his quality. You know, you look at the Leicester game when we beat him 3-1, he was absolutely fantastic. And I feel like when he's on that right-hand side, he needs a competent fullback behind him. You know, Cedric is a fullback that overlaps well as compared to Bellerin, who's just shy. And I feel like, you know, it's all down to who he has behind him, or B, I feel like, you know, if you're going to play him, if you want to develop Martinelli into that striker, then you have a chance to play.
I think that's a bit of a myth, man. I'll be honest. In terms of like this myth around he's developing, I don't know. Like, he's been amazing on the left, but also he can play a striker. But I don't know. I feel like the striker thing is used more as an excuse rather than like a genuine suggestion.
No. The reason why I do believe that is because Martinelli's doing voluntary training to actually make himself a striker.
Yeah, but he does play like a left kind of forward. I mean, he does need to work on his finishing, not because he's shit at finishing, but he will need to do that. And also, he probably needs to catch up a little bit. So I'm not sure we're definitely converting him into a striker, but we do. Yeah, we do need to move on anyway, because we need to talk about Balogun quickly, who's set to... David Ornstein's come out and said that he's set to sign a 4-year deal. And then we're going to move on and pick our starting XI as we always do for the game at the weekend. Sulz has forgot again. It just shows how much he was thinking about that Kevin Campbell interview and not our show. I think we might have to cancel it, to be fair.
We can't cancel this show, man. I'll cancel this.
Russ is in the chat. He said, "Good evening, fellas." Obviously, Emery immortalized that saying. Russ, you said Pepe needs time. I don't know how much more time he can get realistically, but yeah, he needs playing time. Talking Buster says Saka left back and Gabby left wing, and he says, "Souls, I'm so excited for El Clasico." I'm not going to read your comments out anymore. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. When is the El Clasico?
Tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
All right, I think that would be obviously a great game. They're in the hunt for
The
Yeah,
title.
whoever wins
title.
is basically 1
It's only
point
1
behind
point
Atletico,
difference
yeah.
between
And
Barcelona
then
and
Barca
Atletico now.
got Atletico in 2 weeks' time, I believe. So
So
just
if
race the
Barca win
wire.
all the rest of their games, they've won the trophy. Obviously, I want that for Lionel Messi. Obviously, big fan. But let's go into the last segment. And the last segment's going to be Balogun is signing a 4-year deal. Well, he should be. That's set to happen. This has been a saga that has been outright embarrassing for the club. I think that all the talk about him wanting a deal that was supposedly leaked by the club, the 100k a week, blah, 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 50. I don't think there was any. I think Ligana might have just said the 100k thing. But I mean, like, generally, he wanted a higher wage. I think Leipzig at one point was set to sign him. That's what they were saying at the Athletic. Probably was the case at the time. But I just thought this whole saga was a little bit embarrassing. And I thought eventually we probably would cave in and sign him because we don't really want a repeat of history or, I think we need to move on from Nketiah especially. I mean, I don't think he's been what we thought. I mean, Charlie was trying to tell me a lot earlier than I was willing to admit. I mean, he was... I had a few arguments with him about that. But so I'll go straight to you, Char. I mean, what do you think of the Balogun signing and do you think it's the end of Nketiah?
Yeah, it's definitely the end of Nketiah. I think whether we sign Balogun or not, Nketiah was going this summer, in my opinion. Like, Arteta's really benched him proper back into under 23s. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Balogun, does anyone know what wage he's on?
And that's the only one thing that's not been confirmed. The only confirmed thing that's been is a 4-year deal, and that's all we know.
I'm not sure that will be disclosed.
I guarantee he ran up to ransom.
Yeah, no, because I don't think that'll be. I think it will be disclosed in the future, but right now I'm not sure because there were so many people.
It'll be disclosed if he plays well, innit?
Yeah, the bare people are like, oh, I can't believe he's asking for this much. But at the end of the day, look, he's trying to get the bag, and his services are worth something, and so is his potential. So we'll just have to see. But sorry, I didn't mean to go on.
Oh no, it's cool. I was just gonna say quickly, from what I've seen of him, he looks a decent player.
Yeah.
It's only been glimpses though, so we gotta keep that in mind. But what I did see, I do think he is a bit more ahead than Nketiah. In my opinion, especially at this level. I'm not saying maybe at under 23s, I know Nketiah is the record goal scorer, etc. He's a baller, but I think when I see him in the Europa League against Dundalk, he did look quality. He had some talent, and I'm happy. I guess that we signed him. I think he will make more of an impact than Nketiah over the years.
And no, to be fair, and in those, even in when he played those little minutes, he scored 2 goals. To be fair to him,
the man got a man of the match in 10 minutes. That's how good he is. Yeah,
no, he's definitely someone to watch for the future. Obviously, I'm not banking that he's going to become our next striker, but it's good that it's good that we're tying down prospects and we're acting more seriously to keep people at the club. Because one thing Arsenal have been for over a decade is not serious in the market. Luke, we'll go to you. What do you think about Balogun? Do you think is Nketiah basically done now? Are you happy that we've finally ended this Balogun saga because it's gone on for a year now?
Yeah, listen, I'm as happy as I am that he signed a new contract, and it's good that no disrespect to Nketiah, but he was never going to be good enough to be an out and out starting striker for a team like us. He's just not all that.
Fair enough.
And I feel like it's just the one thing that bothers me about this announcement of the contract is the timing, because it's come just after that poor result, and I feel like it might be a bit of a PR move to try and cover up the fact that the club's in a bit of disarray at the minute with all the things that's happening with the poor results and the manager. But I feel like, fair enough, he got the deal done, and Balogun looks like a brilliant player from what I've seen of him. I've seen some of his highlights in the under 23s, and he scored 2 goals and 2 brief appearances for the first team. I don't feel like he's going to be on that higher wage. I feel like.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. If we compare him to Saka and stuff, probably not.
I feel like he's a good player to have around. I don't feel like he'll probably be like a starting striker, but I feel like he'll be a good competition for Martinelli in the years to come. But yeah, I'm happy that we've got him tied down, because I knew that it was a fiasco pretty much whether this guy was going to stay. And I think the club that was interested in him was Bayer Leverkusen that approached him, and he rejected to stay with us. So
Yeah.
It's a good bit of news after last night. But listen, you can't have that covering up how poor things have gone.
Oh yeah, it's not transitional news. I mean, Balogun is obviously not a player that's integral to Arsenal right now in terms of, he's not even playing.
Yeah, it's a good thing to get a youth player
Yeah, of
like that
course.
with potential to tie down, because look at the players we've let go, like Marlon. Marlon's one of the key examples that we let him go. He's doing
We let go of Benesa.
Saka baller.
exactly.
Yeah.
Back in the
Napoli.
day. Yeah, well,
Napper as well.
I mean, hopefully the one we do keep ends up being one that can be really effective for us. So I know talking Barca, he had an important question there. He said, boys, do you think Auba and Mikel are falling out? Now, we spoke about this last week. I know you probably remember because you was there.
I think so, yeah.
We're going to speak more about this in next week's segment, about the rift between maybe the players and the manager. I think that would be a good one to talk about next week. But quickly, anyway, one word answer. Sulz, do you
I
think...
didn't even say Balogun's situation, yo.
Oh, sorry, Sulz, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go
on.
Yes, all right. No, on the Aubameyang one, I'll quickly say,
Just payback.
yeah, I don't think they have. I just think Aubameyang has got personal issues which is mentally affected. I do believe
Fair
it is
enough.
that. But on the Balogun situation, do you know what I like about Balogun and what I'm seeing is a goal scoring Lacazette. Like, he's a clinical version of what Lacazette offers in terms of he's got a good hold up play. He seems to be mature with his decision making. Even when you see it, his first thought isn't always to shoot. It's actually, let me see what he seems to analyze his situations good. And that's why I do think he will come to be a top player because of his ability to make quick decisions. Like, I remember in one of the games in the Europa League where he was holding the ball and he slipped it through for Nketiah, I think it was, and he got an assist like that where he held the ball in the box. Instead of trying to spin and shoot, because that would have been the hardest thing to do, he's seen a layoff and he laid it off. And I think those kind of moments are making me think he's got a brain on him. And I know it's opponents or whatever, right? But he seems to be very well in his decision. And that's why I think he will be a top player. And I'm glad we signed him.
Yeah, no, I think we're all happy that we've signed him. And, I want to see the young players that we actually could do develop, because for our first team, we don't develop that many that come through. And I'm happy that this could potentially be one that doesn't just come through for the first team, but can stay here for years to come and actually play an important part in hopefully the success we have in the recent years. Yeah. But moving on to the starting XI, I think it was. But sorry, because I had that one question. Quickly, Charlie, one word answer. Do you think there's a rift between Aubameyang and Arteta?
Yes. Luke?
Yes.
And so would you give your answer? My answer is I think that there's a lot of... I can't give it... Yes.
One word.
Yeah, yes. God, that's unfair. Let's move on to the starting lineup and then we can wrap it up. So what we do, Luke, and for anybody new watching, is we take turns to pick a player, and then because you've been on the Football Addiction streams as well, Luke, you might be used to this. So at the end, we can all make one change to the lineup that can only be changed if somebody uses their change to change it back, if you know what I mean. So we'll start with me. You can pick any random position, by the way. I'm going to go with striker, and I'm going to go with Aubameyang.
Okay.
For real?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with Aubameyang.
I'm happy with that. Even if I think he will, I can't bring myself to pick Lacazette.
Because this is Sheffield United. I wouldn't start him against... I'm just saying for this game.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, so this is more of an interesting one.
Yeah,
so
this isn't Slavia Prague.
I could, you know what, the league is done, isn't it? I could literally say some bench example. You know what, left wing, I'll put Smith Rowe on. I think he should get some minutes.
On the left.
Are you sure you don't want him on number 10 because Odegaard is injured?
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, do Cam. That makes sense, actually.
No, I was just making sure. I believe he's still injured. So
yeah.
Yes.
True. That's basically what he's gonna do anyway.
I'm gonna go left DM. I'm gonna go Xhaka. I don't feel like Xhaka's gonna get benched anytime soon. Sadly.
Yeah, very sadly.
I don't think he had a bad game yesterday, but we won't get into all of that.
Stop it. You're going to set me off. I'm on edge already, mate.
This is tough, because I think if I go for this pick here, it's going to ruin everyone's teams. But I want to go
Yeah.
left back, and I want to put Saka there.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
But
I mean, we
feel
can always
in-
anyone who doesn't like that. I don't mind
yeah,
it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you can make their change.
Oh yeah,
for
Luke.
fun.
By the
I
way,
have
you can
no
make
issue
one
with
change at the end, and we all get one change, or you can keep it the same. if
Souls
you
again not listening to. I already told them, but
Oh, yeah.
obviously don't care about what I say. Souls, it's all right. No, I'm joking.
No, I think that's a good pick.
I'm
I'm not
just
even gonna
trolling.
lie. I think that's a good
Yeah.
pick.
Back to me. Left. No, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go left mid, and I'm gonna go Martinelli. Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't pick him up on my guy Willian.
Yeah, that was a good joke. Yeah, go on, Johnny.
Yeah, Pepe right wing.
Good choice. Good choice.
Oh, I'm gonna go Pablo Mari at left centre back.
I thought you was about to say CDM. I was about to just be well confused because I was just looking at that icon.
Yeah, I feel like we'll rest Gabriel because, well, Mark.
No resting, Gabriel.
I can't see Holding on this team. I'm sorry.
It's Souls' pick anyway. Go.
Don't know which position. I want to go. Well, I'll go right back and take the obvious one, innit? I do think he's going to play Chambers here.
Chambers.
I think he should go with Cedric, but I think he might rest him because we're going to need
Yeah.
him.
I'm going with goalie and I'm going Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I don't actually disagree with that.
Ooh.
If I can find him. How do you spell his name?
I think it's 1T. I'm not gonna lie.
I cannot find this guy. This guy's anonymous.
It might be Matthew Ryan or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, what's next? I'll figure it out.
Ooh, it's a difficult one, you know.
I don't know. So we'll just assume that that's Matt Ryan. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna play Party and center defensive mid because I can't pick anyone else.
It's not. You can't.
Do you not think you'll rest him? But I'm just asking. I'm not saying to change it. I'm not saying to change it.
I can't say Ceballos. I physically can't say it. So
yeah, same.
So I've got to say Party.
So you've got the last pick, Luke.
Well, it's not really a hard one, is it?
Gabriel. I'm not letting myself say Rob Holding.
I thought we'd try Runnison there, innit? Be a bit bold.
All right, now here's the this is the interesting part. Now, I'll start and I'll make the change. I'm gonna be changing Xhaka for Ceballos.
Holy crap, mate!
What?
We're just lucky that they don't have Berg if Ceballos starts because their midfield without Sander Berg is pretty poor. That's the only thing we don't have to worry about.
Charlie wants to kill me, boy.
Go.
You know what's bad? I hate both of them, innit? So
God, it's yours.
they're both terrible. For me, you know, I wouldn't change anything. How it is now, bro.
Wow. Okay.
What, you would have made one change?
Mm.
You can change my change if you want.
Oh, Batman's up front. I'll put Lacazette on.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Where's the Batman's photo, by the way? Whatever website this is, you need to.
It's just like real life. He's disappeared in it.
They can't keep up with his trim. But yeah.
Is this how we want it, or
how you want it? Yeah, we're not predicting our turkey. You can't really predict what he's gonna do because you never know. Like, you don't know to the day. He draws it out of a hat.
It's a new team every day.
To be honest, I don't really. Yeah, I'm fine with that lineup. To be honest,
no changes.
Maybe, actually, I'd like to change Ceballos back to Xhaka because I cannot stand.
I knew he was gonna do that, bro.
That's what I done last week.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Actually, was it Ceballos?
Mm.
It might have been. Yeah. I don't rate him like that. I just want to see him a bit more.
Why?
I'm trying to think. Would I do it? I don't really. There isn't really a lot to change in that.
Could change. Put Leno, but I know you said you agreed with that.
No, I don't. I think. I don't know. I think maybe bench him. Just see if that helps. Or give him a smack. I don't know. Whatever works. I do want to see Balogun. You know, give it a new contract, new start. You know, but I don't think it'll happen, and I don't. Nah, I'm quite happy with that. I wasn't happy with Sabaya, so I don't want Beyblade playing.
Well, that's the team that we probably go for. It's an interesting one. Obviously, we have a big game in the midweek. I'll still be pissed off if we lose against Sheffield United because that is completely unacceptable. It's different if we're facing a team that's actually not already relegated from the Premier League. But we should win. If we put out a team like this, people might say, well, what did you expect? But I mean, it's a way more. Look how many starters are actually in that team now that I look at it. We should be winning that game. And we're just going to go quickly and give our predictions for Sheffield United. I'm going a 2-0 win. Charlie, what are you saying?
I think we're going to lose 1-0.
Fucking hell, fair enough. That result got to you yesterday, boy. So what are you thinking about that game?
The problem is, like, I can never predict a loss in it, but I think they will want to win. That's what I believe, just to get a bit of confidence in them. But I don't think it's going to be a whitewash or nothing, and I think it's going to be probably like a 2-1. Because Sheffield seem to always score, or we always seem to give them some confidence. So I'll say 2-1.
And Luke?
2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, so I've got a similar prediction, and let's hope that next week, when we come back to the show, we're talking about Arsenal going to the semi-finals, this very good storyline of Arsenal and Arteta versus Emery, because I don't want Emery to win that game if we go on, because that's an ultimate slap in the face to this club and the fans. Because he won't just be slating Arsenal, he'll be slating us, saying, well, because he's got a chip in his shoulder, he'll be saying, you wanted me gone, and now you're out. Yeah, I told you so. He'll be taking the piss out of us.
I guarantee you the man would have been doing this one if they score. Like, you know, when they go, where's the haters now?
Yeah, or do a Mourinho where he runs on the pitch like he done against Barca.
I guarantee you that's what you would do.
He took the piss when he done that.
When he ran down the line.
Yeah.
He ran to the corner.
He's a legend, bruv. But anyway, this is probably going to be it for the show. Luke, quickly, just tell them where they can find you, what shows you're on, because from what I know, you don't have your own channel, but you're about on other people's channels.
Oh, he froze at the right time.
Is he frozen? All right. He's back. Yeah.
Wait.
I swear when we ask him to introduce himself, he freezes. Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Wait, how's Lacazette? Yeah. How's Lacazette?
Fucking shit, that's how that is. But yeah, you can find me at Luke AFC on Twitter, and I'm on the Arsenal show on Let's Talk Premier League, and I'm on quite a few other shows on that channel. To be fair, you can wherever Sulz is, you'll probably find me there. To be honest,
I mean, Sulz is everywhere. I saw Sulz, you posted that, Charlie, in a wrestling stream watch along. Char, mate, I went into that stream. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'll just see him there because he was in another stream about 10 minutes earlier. I don't know if there's about 5 of him, but Sulz, honestly, any stream I click on, fair enough. Like, you're working so hard right now and you deserve that. That Kevin Campbell interview. Everybody, if you haven't watched that, make sure you go watch it on his channel. Obviously, we're on his channel right now. Make sure you just go watch that because it was actually a really insightful video. And it was a great interview to have with somebody like him who has a good insight on the game. Obviously, go subscribe down below to Let's Talk Football. Sulz, if just explain to them what you've got going on at the moment in terms of this channel, because I know you have some more content coming out about getting to know different people within the community and understanding their stories and just stuff like that.
Yeah, so on Monday, I've got James McFadden, who's the founder of Football CFB, which is basically a publishing article for like different football interviews and more of your lower leagues and more of your European, like Netherlands and like the German league. It's a bit of it branches out into more of your up and comers. He does have obviously more of established players as well, and it's going to be his story and his journey and how he done it, and then obviously advice and guide on if you were looking to do something, getting into sort of journalism, content creation, kind of like advice on what you can do and how you can network. So obviously, that's what that show is all about. It's about, hence why obviously I did it with KC, where I wanted to give back as much as it's a moment for me. I wanted to kind of help people out with a bit of advice from people who have been there and or doing it or have been there and done it. So that's obviously, and then we've got the Arsenal Agenda show next week on the N5 channel, and then the following week it'll be on mine. So it's like reoccurring weeks. We have it on each other's channel. And let us know what you think about this special guest. Obviously, we will try and do it as the season's kind of becoming a bit up and down. And then in the summer, we've got can we announce it?
Yeah, go on if you want, yeah.
We've got the England Agenda show coming. So we're going to be doing a lot of international football content, and that's going to be also something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a good one,
That's
you
gonna
know,
be
because
fucking
England's
sick,
going to
yeah.
be such an interesting team to debate on. I mean, the manager, it's not Arteta or whatever. But you know what I mean? We have such a great team. I think we have one of the best teams in Europe. If I'm honest, like on paper, I think we do have a great team. I think we could win that competition possibly, but I don't know with Southgate.
It's one of our best chances. It's
yeah,
in England.
honestly.
It's one of our best chances in a long time. Yeah.
I think soon we'll probably do an introductory episode to that. But anyway, Charlie, tell them about our channel, where they can find us and the stuff we have planned. Because I know, and anyone who's watching this who watches our channel, I'm sorry we haven't been as active. University, obviously, we've been trying to pattern up our degree a little bit, so we haven't had as much time to do match reactions and videos. And we're going to be back in person doing them videos really soon. But anyway, Charlie, just tell them where they can find us.
Yeah, you said it. Obviously at the N5 with the N and number 5. It's on the little banner. Type that on Twitter. Type that on YouTube. Will be first. And yeah, obviously, just like Aaron said, we'll be more active soon. Obviously, got dissertations due this month. But yeah, we'll be back soon. Real life videos coming. Aaron, I've done the intro. That's it. Yeah. Better things coming, and yeah, stay active. Yeah. Thanks to Luke for coming on the show as well.
Thanks to Luke. You had some good points as well. And I'm sure, obviously, I'll be back probably on Niall's Arsenal show sometime in the next few weeks. I'll speak to you again there. Make sure you go follow him, follow us at the N5, and subscribe down below now at Let's Debate Footy to see some good interviews and some more content coming up soon. Join us next week at the same time on Friday. We're going to be talking about next week's result and the upcoming game at the weekend over at the N5 channel. So make sure you go check that one out. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you for everyone who's watching. Talking Barca, Aaron, Harry, all of the regulars that we've had on come on every week. And those who are new to the show, thank you for watching. And we're really glad that you're enjoying the content because we're getting the same people back pretty much every week. And we hope you're enjoying it. Send us, your criticisms or your feedback if you want to on Twitter. Our DMs are always open. And we'll see you next week. That's it from us. And hopefully